No, 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 no. And welcome to the Glacially Musical Podcast. It is beer, metal, and swearing, a ghost cult joint effort. Of course, I am Nick Cameron of Glacially Musical, joined by my good friend, a sweet man who's always willing to work with me, Keefy Chocolat. How we doing today, buddy?
Chocolat is a great movie.
I have not seen it. I don't see movies. I just see tons of movies. I actually saw a great movie with a kid 2 weeks ago called Queen Pin, starring my girlfriend, Kristen Bell.
You have a girlfriend? How's your
She
wife
doesn't
feel about
know.
this? Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, my wife understands where my level of attractiveness is. She says I'm attractive. I think it's a lie, but I'm hot enough for what I need. But what I need is not Kristen Bell or Kirsten Dunst or Elizabeth Banks. But
Ooh, Elizabeth
anyway,
Banks. Oh my god, not even my type, but wow.
none of them are my type. But yeah, anyway. So what do we do here? Thank you for joining us. If you are here for today's episode, Queen, the game, make sure you don't hate the player, you hate the game, or love the game and hate the players. We'll talk about the record later. Here's the rundown of the departments. We do our greeting, our beer check, vinyl check, news check, shirt check, meat of the day. This week, finally, we can now form Blazing Sword. The Glacially Musical beer of the week is Voltron number 5, the Blue Lion. So,
How does it taste? Who's the brewer?
the brewer is Four Hands Brewing in conjunction with Trippin' Animals. I am not familiar with Trippin' Animals. It is a hazy India Pale Ale, which I've gotten used to because apparently everybody is only making hazy pale ales now. That's India Pale Ale. Hazy IPAs are the only IPAs that apparently exist anymore, so I had to accept it. It is 7% ABV, and it does have Voltron kicking ass and taking names on the front. Screw you, Prince Lotor. We're coming for you. Finger fudge pour. Beautiful.
Shout out to Four Hands Brewery for retweeting us and liking our Facebook posts recently. Send Nick some beer if you see so fit.
They actually have opened up a second location in the St. Louis suburb of Kirkwood. Being as I hate suburbs in general, I'm not going. But I also don't go to the one in the city. I just buy it at the store. I mean, plenty at the store.
I don't go to. I hate the suburbs. What the?
I do. I hate the suburbs. I don't too much. It's in the Midwestern suburbs are just the worst place in the world. It's just Applebee's everywhere.
I am not a fan of strip malls personally. I got to be honest with you. All right, I guess
your turn.
It's my turn. No beer this week, although I have some stories to tell about alcohol and beers. I'm drinking another Liquid Death.
Murder your thirst. Speaking of Liquid Death, my child drank one.
And what did she think?
We had to get the just water kind, but at the El Monstero Pink Floyd tribute concert that I was texting you from, she wanted some water, so that's what they had. So that's what she got.
Liquid Death is now a partner of Live Nation, and all that. You can get it everywhere now. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm hearing commercials for it constantly. I'm like, well, while I'm down here, might as well get a beer.
There's only one flavor I haven't tried. That's the cherry. I'm trying to get it. It's deceptive. Watch your cans because the cherry can looks like the plain water can. So just to let you know.
Watch your cans. That sounds offensive.
Watch your cans. I'm drinking a Convicted Melon, and part of I think our news will be to just recap the last couple of weeks of life that we have. But I'm going to drink this out of my, spoiler alert, mug from the Heavy Metal Shop of Salt Lake City, Utah, where I was and where I hung out. And so I've been making friends and winning influences everywhere and getting people to follow our podcast and Ghost Cult. So cheers, sir. It's good to see you again.
Cheers, my friend. It's been I want to apologize for last week. It just life got away. Oh god, that is fucking delicious.
I really hope all IPAs are not going hazy because that's my wheelhouse and I want non-hazy.
They're not.
IPAs.
I mean, they're not all going hazy, but it seems like all new ones are hazy. It's like even Aldi is doing hazy IPAs now. Like the wild whatever it is, Aldi IPA is now. They had an Imperial one, and I just never got around to grabbing a 6-pack because I am not above drinking store brand beer. I will. I mean, I'm that guy, but I just never got around to grabbing one. I don't know why, but now they've got the hazy version. It's like, come on, bro, bring back that Imperial one. I don't know, whatever. I'm gonna bitch about that all day if I don't stop. So I'm gonna go ahead and get on my vinyl check this week. Yeah, got a 3 for this week. Up first is the debut by Hailstorm, featuring Lizzie Hale, formerly of Skid Row.
We don't know that she's never going to do one again. She just can't be in the band.
Just a clear vinyl. The thing about that which makes it so funny is, it's like, Lizzie Hale singing for Skid Row? Oh shit, I better buy a Hailstorm record. I haven't gotten one yet. We actually looked into going to see Skid Row on that tour, but unfortunately the one we could go to was sold out. So, because they played in southern Illinois and they played in southern Iowa, and during the month of May, and we would have had to have taken the day off to go to the Illinois one, and that one wasn't sold out, but the other one, the one in Iowa on Saturday, was. So, is what is. Number 2, gonna bring out the Funk, Ohio Players, featuring the original version of Love Roller Coaster. And I will say, this album cover is not sexy to me.
Oi, best looking album covers of the 60s and 70s. Anything with Carly Simon, Whipped Cream and Other Delights by Herb Alpert.
Okay, but the problem is this is Honey. That is not, no, that does not ease the motion of the ocean. In fact, that makes it harder, and not in the good way. I got that at an antique mall. I think I got that for like $5 or $6. Also, same date.
Also, not really a good lube, also, but whatever.
Are we gonna have to put explicit content on this one, or are we moving forward?
No, don't even say those words. I've been having so many problems with copyright stuff for no reason and getting flagged and everything. I think finally, after like 12 years, the name Ghost Cult is getting triggering for the algorithm. But go ahead, continue your check.
The only flag we're doing this week is P flag. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Last one is the 3 greatest guitar players ever to play in the Yardbirds: Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, and Jimmy Page.
Right about 2 of them.
Hey, it's the best 3 ever to play in the Yardbirds.
Clapton, man, he's just so troublesome.
He is troublesome, but you know what? You know who else is?
As a kid,
do you know who else is troublesome and just as troublesome, if not more so? If we're being honest with ourselves, if we're looking each other in the eyes, having a lovely moment, staring at each other, looking deep into our eyeballs and souls. Do you know who's just as problematic as Eric Clapton?
James Marshall Page.
Yeah, Jimmy Page. I was going to say Jimmy Page. Anyway,
Jim Marshall is Jimi Hendrix's middle name, by the way. Sorry. My bad.
That is correct. Anywho, this is it's not any like really serious songs. It's basically a bunch of demos, a bunch of stuff that made it out over the years. It's only about 22 minutes long. But you know what? I thought it'd be fun. And I dropped it on the floor. So I'm gonna mute you talk.
That's where Eric Clapton belongs, dropped on the floor, my friend. I dislike that guy so much now. I regret how much money I have spent on tickets and albums of his, and even when his songs came up at karaoke this week, I was like, I hate it so much. I have a 1-4, but on the bed behind me is a pile of new records. I haven't really been buying anything. I've been sent a few things by labels, and on my travels, which we're going to talk about the news section, I acquired a few new things, mostly on the cheap, but a couple of Holy Grail type things, something expensive. They'll be checked at a future date, as we're just getting to 2024 albums, but I'm still at the end of 23. So here's a record I think I had done before. Again, it's one of these things that are kind of overlapping. One of the awesome Record Store Day reissues last year by Craft Recording, so I'm a fan of. They're doing a lot of stuff. They're doing Creed Human Clay 25th anniversary.
Ew. Ew. That is verboten. That is verboten
Creed.
on this podcast.
Anyway, Creed is awesome. Shut up. And so Craft Recordings put out a vinyl, first time ever, Blood Simple soundtrack by Carter Burwell, one of the most underrated composers of soundtrack music. Blood Simple, an actual big studio horror movie that doesn't suck.
Are there any songs about pies on that record?
Let's see. Crash and Burn, Blood Simple the song, Chain Gang, Looking at Pictures, The March, Monkey Chant, Noise Burn, Blood Simpler. It's a very bad title.
Is Simon Pegg in that movie?
He is not, but
because it could be Blind
John
Simple
Kassir
Simon.
John Kassir is Joey Pants from The Sopranos, and The Matrix is in here. But let's see.
That is my favorite name in the entire. Like
Joey Pants.
Yeah, when listening to the Sopranos podcast, Imperioli and Joe Scarpaggia, I can't remember his name.
Imperioli and Steven Scarpathia.
Anyway,
Carpaccio.
It's not that. We're not even close. Was just all the nicknames everybody had, because Joey Pants wasn't his nickname in the show. That was his nickname for the guy.
For the guy, right. This is very unintentionally metal. It says Bonded by Blood. This is an incomplete liner
previous
notes.
podcast subject, Bonded by Blood?
No, this is a complete liner notes of the Blood Simple soundtrack, like written by Daniel Schweiger. I don't know who that is. Already cleaned, came in the mylar outer and inner. Or maybe I did the inner. And look at this beautiful, again, Craft Recordings does high quality shite. So this is this beautiful blood swirl.
Nice.
Blood transparent also a little bit. Blood themed album. It almost looks like drying blood. Like wet and drying blood in a pool, because it's got like the dark spots where the plasma separates. Pretty cool. You know how to get people upset at a party or a new social setting? You start talking about your affinity for serial murder and stories about that. But anyway, 1-4 for me. We have a
I've got enough of that. We could actually start a serial killer true crime podcast.
Definitely could. We
not. I'm not.
I even do better than this one. I'll be honest. In a few weeks when we have a chaser, Nick is gonna do like an epic trauma dump, and I'm gonna do 2. But like,
it may not be so epic. We'll see. But but I am going to vintage vinyl after we finish this. So
it could be. So do we want to get into the news and then the shirt check and then the meat?
Yeah. One bit of real news today. I just wanted to mention we lost one of the GOATs today. One of the greatest actors of all time, who not only gave us such amazing movies and amazing roles, but he also gave us his son, who is also an actor. And, of course, Donald Sutherland, father of Kiefer Sutherland. I actually always forget that Kiefer Sutherland is his son. They're so...
They have the same name. They look very similar.
I know. But you know what? I always forget. But Donald Sutherland is one of the most truly amazing actors of all time. He lived to the ripe old age of 88. He lived his best life. He lived his dream. And he lived his dream and his best life for a very long time. So that was great. Of course.
Also, the Say Hey Kid passed away.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, and we lost Willie Mays.
And I just saw him in person 3 weeks ago at the Giants-Yankees game, because they brought him out.
He was supposed to be at the Cardinals-Giants game tonight.
Yeah. At
Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama.
For the Negro League celebration for Juneteenth. Yeah. Post-Juneteenth.
Yeah, totally sucks. Father's Day was last weekend, which was absolutely wonderful for me. It was probably the best one I've had so far.
I'm so glad.
My wife got me another...
Dad.
What?
You're a great dad. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I don't think I am, but I'm trying. And I'll always keep trying to be better. But my wife got me another Adidas tracksuit. So now I have 2 in different colors, a black and a blue. I think she got me a ladies tracksuit this time, though, because the zipper's on the other side. And apparently I've never had one of those, because it was really hard zipping it up. My family also took me out to a steakhouse I've wanted to go to for about 30 years called Sam's Steakhouse in Afton, Missouri. Yes, in the suburbs. We passed the Applebee's to get there. Actually, that's not true. Afton is a good suburb. It's very, very city-like. And it is still not as good as my favorite steakhouse. So Twisted Tree still reigns supreme. Still reigns supreme at this point. I was given a coupon for one free record. I was told my wife when she woke me up because I was supposed to sleep late. She looks at me and she goes, "Just so you know, I'm dressed like you today. I'm wearing a concert T-shirt and jeans and Chuck Taylors, and I'm dressed like you because I'm doing your chores today. So you sit down on the TV, or you go in the bedroom and play, or go in the sitting room and listen to music and do whatever you want until it's time for your charcuterie board." So they brought me out a charcuterie board. I mean, it was just a great, great day. And it was all topped off by my daughter's idea to take me to go see a classic rock cover band at Carondelet Park, which is one of the oldest parks in St. Louis. So
Now, is that covers or tribute?
it was covers. This was Mark Close of KSHE 95 fame, his band Close Quarters. They play a lot of like 60s and early 70s, what people would call KSHE classics. Also, the night before that, however, we went to see El Monstero, the local Pink Floyd tribute band, and I really cannot express to people who don't live here and who have never seen this what a big deal this show is. They had 18,000 people there that night. They don't use a tape of a helicopter playing for Happiest Days of Their Lives. They have helicopters flying overhead when that part comes up. I am not kidding. It is. This year they had 2 helicopters because there were too many people. They had to make sure it was loud enough. But they just put on an absolute great show. And I guess really that. Oh, and I saw Foreigner for the 5th time this past weekend. So I'm getting real sick of seeing Foreigner. But I did get to wear the Foreigner Belt t-shirt, so I'm going to shut up now.
I did see the Foreigner Belt t-shirt. So just as a quick recap, you know that I have been on the road. And we did one before I left, thank you. And that ran after I was gone. And then we missed one. So now I'm back. I'm back in San Francisco. But I went from San Francisco to Salt Lake City. I went from Salt Lake City to Pomona, California to see the No Values Festival, which was incredible music, terribly run. Review coming soon at Ghost Cult and maybe on YouTube. And then to LA for a few days in which I scampered around town. Nobody was really around to hang out, so I went to the Rainbow and I sat in Lemmy's seat at the Rainbow and drank a whiskey and Coke. And I went to the new Ameoba. And the hotel I was in had little coupons for like money off on your Amoeba purchase if it was your first time at Amoeba, which it was my first time at that Amoeba. And so I did buy some records.
What was the name of the hotel? Was it Hotel California?
It was not Hotel California. It was Hotel Kawada in Little Tokyo. Right next to Skid Row, which isn't great, but I didn't spend a lot of time walking around over there.
Did they play 18 in Life?
They did not play 18 in Life. They did not play Monkey Business or Slave to the Grind.
Oh, Monkey Business. That's a good song. We should do a Skid Row run.
We should do a Skid Row run. I tried to get Sabo to cover us for one of those Lizzie shows here in Northern California and never returned my email. So I don't think we would be able to get him on as a guest, I think. But my travels were generally great. I'm in great spirits. You know, it's been a tough year all around. I am doing really well coming back from the trip. There was actually some water damage to my building and my apartment, and I was shitting a brick that I do have a overflow of records that are not in my calyx and not in a hidden place here behind me, but there's an overflow of records on the floor of my apartment under a coffee table. That's just it's the only place they can be. And I was like, I had visions of them all being ruined. None of them are like collector's items, but sentimental value. They're all insured, Discogs, I'm covered, but like,
yeah, you totally have got to do that. I actually had a conversation with the son of the Italian grocery store I go to now. When he found, because I made offhandedly commented to his mother, who was running the register. Yeah, I know about the heat, warps records. Sometimes she's like, "Oh, you get records?" She calls her son over, and so then we have this long conversation. He's like, "Make sure everybody knows what you have. Make sure they're insured." I'm like, "I already took care of it, bro." That's the only reason to keep discs. That's the biggest reason to keep Discogs. Because if you're gonna do it, catalog that shiz.
Facts. So, just really quick, I did go to the Heavy Metal Shop of Salt Lake City. You'll probably see me in a shirt and it from there next week. I hung out with the owner, Kevin, who is a lifer of rock and metal. The place is like a museum for metal. I wish I could have bought everything in the place. They have a 10-foot rug of South of Heaven, the album cover. Like, I don't know why. They just do. It's incredible. I didn't quite have a lot of money to spend there, but we chopped it up. I spent some money. I did a video from there. I went to the Rainbow. I did a video of the Lemmy statue and the Rainbow in general, which I've been to a bunch, but just never had a good phone. Whiskey had like a concert, so I didn't really get in there for the first time in a while, but next time I go. And I chose to go to the Dodgers game, my first Dodgers game at Chavez Ravine, rather than Ultimate Jam Night 80s Metal Show. So I think I chose well.
Did you see a perfect game this time?
I did not see a perfect game, but I did see the Yankees beat the Giants. They booed Judge like lustily, and I sat next to a racist lady who said that these Yankees remind her of the 60s Yankees, all white. I was like, with Cabrera and Torres and Judge, who's half white and half black. Really, a white team? You think this is?
He's biracial.
Anyway,
I didn't know that. But
yeah,
I also, what I don't know about modern baseball, you could just about squeeze into the Grand Canyon.
So,
Speaking of baseball, real quick, I went to an independent minor league game on Friday of last week, the Gateway Grizzlies. I've been going to there. You've seen the Pint Glass, actually. Love going out there. Great time. Took the kid and one of her friends. And the weird thing is we ended up sitting next to the guy running the gun. And that guy at that level,
the radar gun?
Yeah, was tomorrow's pitcher. So I was sitting next to the Grizzlies starting pitcher the next day. I think he liked me the best out of everybody that was around him because I wasn't going all fanboy, oh my God, sign this, oh, blah, 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 blah. I wasn't heckling anybody. I was just, every now and again, we'd have a little conversation. But it was neat. And so he's running this gun, and I'm like watching because he would write it down because they don't put up the speed in the park. And I'm like, whoa, he's hitting 94? He's like, yeah, 94. I'm like, I didn't know anybody at this level could hit that. He's like, well, there's a few of us. Well, I guess that's why every 3 games there's a pitcher's duel instead of it being 14-12. Because that's how this league is. If you watch, it's like 14-12, 9-7, 6-5, 2-1. Sorry.
Very fair. So, do we want to, with no ado? So, I had a great trip. I'm doing really well. I'm glad to see you again. I'm sorry we missed a week. I hate to miss a week, but it just happens.
You know what? We have been so good at not missing weeks. And it's okay. It's okay. And I'm sorry, I am talking a lot. I have things to say.
You're great. Let's do a quick news. Quick news. I know the big one. You know the big one, right? I'm going to let you have it.
Ace Frehley and Lara broke up?
Fucking no, man. Pink Floyd. Confirmed. 1.27 billion selling to Sony.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh,
I knew Queen.
Today.
Queen sold theirs for 1.2.
Yeah.
I don't read.
Maybe
Variety,
it's Queen
sorry.
and not Pink Floyd.
Queen did.
Oh, maybe it was Queen. Okay, so Floyd is about to happen. Pink Floyd sold. Queen sold. Pink Floyd's about to.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Wow.
I mean, people were like, "Oh, I can't believe they're doing this." It's like it's like, imagine if you could give a generational wealth to your family. Each one of these estates is going to get $250 million before taxes. That's enough money that your great grandchildren will be wealthy beyond our wildest dreams. I would totally do that if I could.
That is amazing. Yeah. Listen, like, again, I discussed this. Everyone should go watch, even if you don't like the Beach Boys, even if you hate the Beatles. And there are many of you out there that hate the Beatles. I don't love the early Beatles. I think they were corny and just happened to be good looking.
Yeah, I like the later Beatles.
They wrote catchy, good songs, but
after
after 65, 66, when they started doing the drugs, the Beatles made some of the best music ever made still to this day. And I implore you to watch those Beatles documentaries also on Disney Plus and maybe now Hulu because they're becoming all Disney Plus now. But this Beach Boys documentary in which the Wilson dad, who was managing, they kicked him out of managing the band because he was a dick. He tried to produce and manage the band like Vinny and Dime's dad for Far Beyond Driven. They kicked his dad out, and they were like, you can have the publishing and manage the publishing catalog and sell us to commercials. And he sold the publishing in the early 80s for $700,000, which at that time seemed like a lot of money.
To Michael Jackson.
No, Beach Boys, not Beatles.
Sorry.
But, like, whoever he sold it to, he fucked up. Because the Beach Boys, to this day, do not have the wealth they should have. Because the Beach Boys music is enduring. When you hear Beach Boys in an ad, they're not getting a red cent much. And when he did it, he cut in Brian and not Mike Love, who was, by the way, the main vocalist and lyricist of the band for the entirety of the Beach Boys. Mike Love was the main lyricist and mostly the lead vocalist, except for a handful of songs that Brian in the early days was the lead singer on. I'd love to do a couple of Beach Boys records. It might be worth doing.
I think what we should do is we should take a page out of the KSHE 95 vinyl exam show and do honorable mentions for a year. So when they don't have, because what the vinyl exam is a great show. It's a show basically like this kind of idea where they take an album from a year and they just do one a year, or they'll like do a year for a while. So they'll do one album for one show, but then they'll do honorable mention shows where they play like 2 songs off each of the albums. So I mean, I think that's the kind of idea we should do, is we should do an honorable mention for a year. Anyway. Quick shirt check.
Not yet. Really quick. Last couple of things. So again, please watch the Beach Boys documentary. It's amazing, and there's also a part in it about Charles Manson and the Manson family murders, because Terry Melcher, and Carl Wilson and Dennis Wilson. All right. I don't have the whole list, so we can't do a thing. But Metallica's "Master of Puppets" was voted the #1 metal song of all time by German language Metal Hammer. Hard to argue.
I would argue.
I don't know that you and I could ever do a list and get away. Like, it would be like a 10-hour episode for you and I to fight over the top.
Just to do like the top, the top 10 to 20.
Well, I think we would have a lot of we would agree on the
but
content,
to get it in order,
rankings,
just to get from 20 to 10, would be a weekend.
Okay. Kiss your family and child goodbye. Say hello to Keefy.
Welcome to Divorce Town. We're not doing that.
Sleep on the couch.
I like my life. Anyway, I went to the dentist today. My teeth fucking hurt.
Oh, okay then. Let's move it along and do the shirt check, and then
shirt check. I got a new Pink Floyd shirt. It's a neat Pink Floyd shirt. It's got a little bit of an ode to Dark Side of the Rainbow.
Yeah, Yellow Brick Road. I see a Yellow Brick Road, and I was like, "What is that? What in the Elton John Krispy Kreme fuckery is
exactly.
This? It's cool.
Exactly. Elton John has rainbow things and Yellow Brick Road things.
Somehow it's a Pink Floyd shirt. It's an Elton John shirt. It's a Wizard of Oz shirt. It's a Pride shirt. All at the same time. I like it.
Welcome to the rainbow. Other news. I forgot, and I listened to the fucking song too. David Gilmour released his newest song. The song features his daughter, Romani Gilmour, on vocals. It is a cover. The song is called Between 2 Points. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. So, shirt check for you.
My shirt check is a brand new shirt. I have a brand new hat on, too. By the way, between your track suits and my douchebag trucker hats, we are one of the douchiest music podcasts alive now.
Should I put on the tracksuit?
Not today.
Oh, okay. I got the black one with me.
Wear it for the chaser. It'll be perfect. We're going to abuse your eardrums with this Trauma Dub. I am wearing a shirt gifted to me by former Glacially musical subject and guest, Justin Perot of Stormland. He sent me this shirt along with a bunch of Stormland goodies. And the shirt is one of my favorite colors. It's comfy as shit. It's in my size. It looks cool. I look like Grimace.
Justin Perot, or I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not just fucking with him. I legitimately can't pronounce it. So Justin Poirot is genuinely a Canadian treasure. And he is just a wonderful, wonderful human being, and I love the fact that he makes extraordinarily nerdy death metal. That is like my favorite thing in the world.
He is wonderful, and he actually just checks on me to see how I'm doing periodically. It has nothing to do with music or helping promote his shit. He just like genuinely cares about me. How are you, my friend?
Same. I get the same. What are you doing? He's great people, and I wish that all the people in the world would buy so much of his music that he didn't have to do anything else but his music.
Indeed. All right, that's the shirt check. That's kind of the news. Let us bang through.
All righty. Do you have the albums? Do you have the albums of the year listed up?
I do. Do you want to do that first? Do you want to set the scene first? How do you want to do it?
You know what? No, let's do the albums first.
Okay, fine.
I think that makes more sense.
I can also lead this episode. Literally, we're on our 8th episode of this. I'm so sorry, everybody. But we're doing it now.
And we got one more after this, so we're going to go to 9. Oh, my God.
I'm going to watch Flash Gordon this weekend. You better watch it. There's going to be a test. There's gonna be a
I'll
quiz.
watch it.
There's gonna be a quiz.
The kid's actually going out of town tomorrow morning, so I
Okay.
won't have anybody to yell at me. All right.
Good. Here,
Drop the albums of the year.
So 1980, right? We're now into heavy metal and
Yep.
punk, and new wave has begun, and pop music is great, and we have this arguably one of the best eras of music because we have all these things as a congruently happening at the same time. So albums that were released in 1980, along with The Game, which came out in June. The River by Bruce Springsteen, maybe his second best record. Ace of Spades, Motorhead.
Classic.
High Infidelity, REO Speedwagon. Get the fuck out of here.
Seeing REO Speedwagon for the I don't know how many times.
Yeah. Boy by U2, probably their last decent album. Sandinisha, The Clash. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry. Nope, fuck Elvis Costello. Duke by Genesis, good record. Bad Reputation, the solo debut of Joan Jett, I believe.
No, I think I Love Rock and Roll isn't that her
right.
solo?
Yeah, I think that was later. I could be wrong.
I could be
fuzzy on that. Women and Children First, Van Halen.
Got it.
Remain in Light, Talking Heads.
Oh, I got that. My copy of Women and Children First is actually a KSHE 95 promo that I got for $5.
That is the third mention of that radio station in this episode.
They are the oldest rock radio station in the country.
We're going to have to tag them if they have a Twitter or something. Permanent Waves, Rush, one of my favorites.
Don't have that one.
Dirty Mind, Prince, right before the Purple Rain greatness, but not bad. Zenyatta Mondada by The Police.
I have that, unfortunately.
One of the many albums named Peter Gabriel by Peter Gabriel. I think it's his third one.
Don't be confusing. Also, doom metal bands, make it clear whether your record is 45 or 33. Yes. Mark that, because I had to actually wrote it. I wrote it on the mylar today.
Yeah, I have to actually change my turntable every time I have to play a different record. It's really frustrating.
So many doom metal bands, if they're really slow, if you listen to it at 33 when it should be 45, you can't tell. You can't. So I had to actually go to Into the Storm's Bandcamp to figure it out.
I'm gonna try to whip through this.
Sorry.
Nick's probably favorite record of this entire year, Heaven and Hell, Black Sabbath.
Oh, that's in the up next pile.
Against the Wind, Bob Seger. My favorite metal record of 1980, British Steel, Judas Priest.
Good record. Great record.
Great record. A couple more. Back in Black. Hit the Sack.
Oh, got that one.
It's good to be back. Scary Monsters, Bowie. Can't fuck with it. He's all speaking of.
I'm not a big Bowie fan. I want to be, but I'm not.
Kate Bush, Don't Care. Blizzard of Oz. The most successful metal record of that year.
And you know what? It's arguably nearly as good as Heaven and Hell.
It's better. Anyway.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Double Fantasy. Yoko
Got that?
and John.
Oh, I haven't checked it yet.
And then he perished later that year.
He wrote that in Bermuda, and they're really proud of that.
Emotional Rescue by the Stones. Great, great album. This is my favorite Stones era. It's literally the late 70s, early 80s.
Really?
Yeah, I love
You're
those.
the one.
Some Girls, I Am the One. Some Girls, Emotional Rescue. These records are untouchable.
We should do. Oh, you know what? You have always asked to be on the DMA without it being Pink Floyd. We could do one of those weird Stones records.
Yeah, Some Girls maybe would be the one I would think I would. I don't want to subject Duncan to.
You got to subject Duncan. That's the whole point. The whole point is to see how long he can stay sane. It's really a long quick, time.
Joy Division, Closer. Mm-hmm. Glass House's Billy Joel.
I don't have that one. I should buy it because I keep seeing it. What's on it? What's the lead single?
I think it's probably Pressure.
Okay.
It was his attempt at doing new wave.
I should get it either way.
Guy. Boop, 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 boop,
Listen to
boop,
Stormfront
boop,
the other day.
Stormfront's great. I listened to the live there. The Billy Joel concert that I saw for my high school graduation live at Yankee Stadium is now on streaming, and I think it's going to come out on vinyl.
I believe there were some Pink Floyd from the 70s from St. Louis, but I didn't go to them, so I didn't listen.
Gaucho by Steely Dan.
Not familiar.
Not a bad record. End of the Century Ramones, not too shabby.
Don't like
not
their
best, but not bad. The second album, Iron Maiden.
That's their first album.
Oh, sorry, their debut album. My bad. And Clues by Robert Palmer, very underrated album. It's also like Roxy Music and some other stuff. I don't care.
Well, I mean, as you can see, this year, 1980. Oh, you forgot Kiss Unmasked.
Kiss Unmasked, no one cares.
Nobody
Dead
cared.
Kennedys, Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables, incredible.
Interesting.
Very incredible. Roxy Music had a good record that way, Flesh and Blood. Alan Parsons Project continues to rob Pink Floyd. Jay Giles Band, Love Stinks. Why did they call their record Love Stinks? Because it was the hit single?
That was Jay Giles?
Jay Giles or Jay Giles? I don't give a fuck.
I don't care. I just know that from The Wedding Singer. I didn't realize that.
What a terrible thing. All right, that's a lot of good records. I would say probably less competition than the previous years.
Well, here's the thing. You didn't really discuss Queen's competition in that list. You discussed what you and I would have been into in 1980. Queen is not going up against those artists. There is nobody in 1980, because in 1980, the factioning and the segregation of music and fans of genres really, really grows. Has really, I mean, the walls are deep, long, and wide. Roger Waters has put another brick on the wall. And why is that? Why are these divisions so thick, Keefy? 2 reasons.
The subdivisions as we pass through the halls? Is that some lyrical reference to
No.
Neil Peart?
What? I don't ever reference Neil Peart.
I don't either.
Unless it's the drum solo of Life from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Ayn Rand is a piece of shit person, and I hate that.
Wow. No, I was going to say disco and punk.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, Queen. Well, Zeppelin is basically done. In right a few months after this album comes out, John Bonham dies.
No, he dies before this album comes out.
No, I thought September.
No, he died in January.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, there's some great records in there, but like, Queen is like the last big bit. Beatles are gone. John Lennon ends up dying. Zeppelin breaks up.
We are, as Styx would put it, 19 years later, we are at the turn of the century. We are at a transitional time. We are now heading into the brave new world yet again. Pink Floyd is essentially over at this point. All of the major bands of the 70s are over. Kiss continues. They carry on as something wholly different. You know, I mentioned Unmasked at the beginning. It was the beginning of all this. Kiss Unmasked is a very divisive record. It is very loved and well cared for by the pop music fans and the Eurovision fans and the Australian fans. The American fans hate it, detest it, because it's nothing like what they expected. Metallica's a couple of years away. Motorhead, the new wave of British heavy metal is coming. Punk rock, as its original movement, is dying. Disco is at its nadir. Right now, we are at the top, the peak, the level of disco. We are 2 weeks away from disco being silly, after Alice Cooper and Kiss and the Rolling Stones did disco songs. But disco is still immensely popular. So why does Queen not compete with all those other bands? They're not disco. They're not, inauthentically anything. They are authentically Queen. And what Queen is a little bit bouncy. And I don't mean that in any other way, except the music is a bit musical theater, a bit dance hall, and a lot happy. Queen does not write blues. They don't write metal. There's no anger. There's no sadness. There is just celebration. And what did Kool and the Gang sing about right now?
Celebrate good times. Come on.
Good times. Come on. Which
also,
St. Louis would use ad nauseum for Cardinals World Series victories.
Yeah, just everything. I do want to add 2 things. What else? We missed this somehow. Probably because we're who we are. But what
we are, we're trash pandas, basically.
What emerging genre is happening right now, culturally, but not popular yet?
New wave?
No. New wave is huge right now. Hip hop. So Rapper's Delight comes out about 6-7 months before.
Man, we have talked about that song so many times.
I know. Rapper's Delight comes out about 7-8 months before Queen the Game. which
And
there's a relation here. There's a reason why.
Oh, yeah.
And also Auto American by Blondie, which is not on that list of. I would say it is a great album. Doesn't come out until Thanksgiving weekend in 1980 because the record company was like, I don't know what the fuck this is gonna do because Heart of Glass was a banger and I don't know if this is any good. And
it's
Auto
really
American-
important to I'm sorry, I got to jump in back to Rapper's Delight. It's really important to point out that hip hop in 1980, 1979, 1978 is so vastly different from what you think of now. So, they take it they just take one beat with melody. It basically sounded, if you didn't know, it was just the vocals that were different. Rapper's Delight, it's very much a harmony and melody song. It just doesn't have vocal melody. So it was easier, much more easy. It slipped into the mainstream much more easily than something like, 911 as a Joke would do 10 years later. Sorry, I had to get that out.
No, that's fair. So again, Blondie shifts from punk rock. I think the thing here is that maybe Queen had transcended even rock to pop. And maybe that's the thing. We're not yet in the era of the pop stars. Madonna hasn't happened. Prince is yet to become a superstar. Michael Jackson is just about to be a superstar.
He's doing a concept record about a rat right now called
Michael
Ben, and I have it.
Let's not talk about it. Anyway.
No one should talk about it.
So, yeah, Queen, they're in their own kind of box with not a lot of people to compete with. But bands
Correct.
they have
The genre
are starting
walls.
to take over.
The genre walls are very high.
Silos
and
are very
thick.
high, yeah.
Yeah.
But Queen has had an impact on a lot of these bands we talked about. Like a lot of new wave is definitely inspired by Queen. A lot of thrash metal and heavy metal is inspired by Queen's theatrics and bombast and dynamics. And even though punk hated Pink Floyd and Queen, Freddie and unfortunately the guy who shall not be named from Pink Floyd loved the punks. In spirit, they felt the kinship, but like the punks were like, "Nah, I ain't feeling it."
It was like Kurt Cobain with Black Sabbath. He really couldn't admit too loudly that he loved Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne because then it would get him ostracized. Although it was pointed out to me today, if you watch MTV's Live and Loud at the very end during the break of the guitar stuff, Kurt Cobain does an Ozzy Osbourne clap move. At the end, he does an Ozzy Osbourne face and starts doing the clap. And I'm like, oh my God, I never saw that either. So there you go. Thanks, Mike.
Fair enough. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to set the scene about this?
No,
I just get right into it.
I think you very much buttressed my point that Queen is they're in a different league than everybody else. They're in a different sport. And we're transitioning with all of these genres being huge. And as you pointed out, the metal guys like Queen, the punk guys like Queen, and the disco people like Queen. What's huge right now? All those things. So no wonder all those things are huge, and all the big bands of their peers are gone. Queen exists as Queen basically for the next 10 years. Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and Kiss are all dead, essentially.
Can you just humor me and say the word buttress one more time into the microphone?
Buttress.
Thank you. I just needed that.
My favorite buttress is the flying buttress. I am a big fan of cathedral architecture. Buttress.
Apparently so. Shall we go into the track by track? I'm happy to lead it.
Before that, let's do a little bit of talking on the tour.
Oh, that's fair.
The game tour starts in June of 1980 and it ends in November of 81. They played 17 months. How many shows, Keefy?
Well, now, because last time I got this vastly wrong, I'm going to say like 30.
You're vastly wrong.
God damn it, 100.
Now you're in the ballpark. 82. That's it. 82 shows. That is it. They played 49 in North America, 18 in Europe, 5 in Asia, which I presume were all Japan, 10 in South America. A couple of those were canceled due to a national day of mourning. And there's a really cool picture of Queen meeting Diego Maradona, the man who, with the hand of God, whose handball scored a goal that was not called a handball. He said, "It was not my hand, it was the hand of God." But there he is wearing a Union Jack next to Freddie wearing an Argentine jersey. So it's pretty cool. With Brian May wearing a Kansas t-shirt and the other boys wearing blue jeans, Adidas, and button-down white sexy shirts because they're sexy boys. But they played a ginormous set list of 29 songs. I'll quickly run through it. Intro, Jailhouse Rock, We Will Rock You, Fast, Let Me Entertain You, Play the Game, Mustafa, Death on Two Legs, Killer Queen, I'm in Love with My Car, Get Down, Make Love, You're My Best Friend, Save Me, Now I'm Here, Dragon Attack, Now I'm Here, Reprise, Fat Bottom Girls, nobody's heard that song, Love of My Life, Keep Yourself Alive, another deep cut, drum solo, guitar solo, Brighton Rock Reprise, Crazy Little Thing Called Love, Bohemian Rhapsody. Man, why would they even play that? Who likes that song? Tie Your Mother Down. For the first encore, they would play Another One Bites the Dust, followed by Sheer Heart Attack. Then they would come out one more time for We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions, and God Save the Queen. Whew, God damn it anyway.
I mean, you drink a beer and I'll talk. Like, yeah, that's it's an earful. Who has the stamina to watch a 3-hour show like this?
Not play it, but just watch it and just be like, oh, I gotta sing along. Oh my God, you want me to sing along to what?
Yeah, pretty epic, man. Pretty epic. And really, other than we're about to get into, I think it's fair to say that because musical styles were changing, Queen also changed with them to show that they could. And I think that's a very important thing. The Queens make up their DNA, that they always kind of stay true to themselves, but they can do anything. Zeppelin was able to do anything. Queen was able to do anything to a lesser extent.
Very true.
Was able to do anything. The Beatles tried to do anything 15 years earlier. So just keep that in mind when you think about how wildly varied the game is.
Let's roll it.
Let's roll it, son. How you want to roll it like this, son? The Game, by the way, is the first Queen album I owned on cassette for my, at the time, relatively brand new Walkman, which is about the size of a novel.
With my paperback novel.
Well, I don't know, hardcover. These things were huge. Is their 8th album in 6 or 7 years, which is pretty phenomenal, right? Vastly different sounding than Jazz, which we discussed. They were trying to be, Jazz is their experimental album, and not that great. But every Queen record has like 2 or 3 bangers, and then the rest of it is not filler, but not always huge. But this album,
it's songs on a record, that's for sure.
This album's gonna shock you because it's actually mostly great. It opens with the title track, "Play the Game," written by Freddie. A little bit of studio trickery to open the album. The very comforting glissando, reverse glissando, which is that when you take one finger and go down the piano key on the synthesizer. The very first Queen record written with synthesizers, which is kind of interesting because synths were a huge deal for this entire time of Queen having a band, but they only used piano and Rhodes Hammond organs and Rhodes pianos, electric pianos, and never used the synth before, apparently. And the synth is a prominent part of this record, as is the production value. And The Game is it's just a love song, and it's pretty beautiful. It was a big hit song. There are 5 singles from this album out of 10 songs. So get yourself ready.
Play the Game is okay. It is not a classic. And it's funny to even... It's not a classic. This has never been on a greatest hits.
Good song, though.
It's okay. It's a good start. It feels like an extended 30-second intro. So, it is what it is.
I don't know. Great vocals, great lead guitar. I think it's a great song. But that's me.
That's every Queen song.
That's also true. Second track, Dragon Attack. Dragon Attack is a song that has gotten a new life in later years. It is a very popular song to be covered by metal bands. And I think this song rules. It's not so heavy in its original rock form, but you can see why it lends itself to metal and heavy metal. It's got like heavy metal swagger and lyricism, mostly written by Brian May. I think they were kind of not writing together as much anymore, and they were kind of I think after Night at the Opera and Day at the Races albums, I think they started to kind of drift apart a little bit. I'm just guessing, but like they would come in with songs.
Well, that's normal.
I guess. I really love Dragon Attack. I think it's excellent, but technically, the Wikipedia, which we know not to trust disclaimer, is considered a funk rock song. But I think Dragon Attack is awesome. No, I don't think it's that funky.
It's the closest thing there is to metal on this record. And I'm looking at this going, Dragon Attack, they're singing about dragons. Like, wow, did Ronnie James Dio enter the chat?
Ronnie James Dio has entered everybody's chat now.
Yes, he has, because now Ronnie James Dio is on his third significant record. I'm sorry, the Elf records are not significant. And funny story, when I saw Foreigner, they were listing off the names of the players. When they get to the bass player, like, Jeff Pilson on bass. And I'm like, Jeff Pilson, I know that name. So I Google it. I'm like, holy shit, he was in Dio. Wife looks at me. What the hell's he doing here? And I'm like, he wants mad ducats, son. Who do you think pays more? Foreigner. Foreigner pays more. Anyway, Dragon Attack, written by Brian May. It's a little longer than I would like, and it's a little sillier than I would like. And this is the kind of silliness that really, really goes into next week.
Fair enough. It's a little long. I want to mention before we talk about the next song, because this is really important. So this album was I think their first collaboration with Reinhold Mack, who is the protege of Giorgio Moroder, which I know you know that name, right?
Sure, but tell everybody else that don't know who he is.
Nick just made a face like he doesn't know. Giorgio Moroder is the infamous West German record producer.
Oh, it'd be better if we were East German.
Invented disco records. Like, he invented disco production. Like, when you think of disco, like Dancing Queen, right? When you think of, like, string orchestras and disco beats and incredible flowery choruses and production, like the pinnacle production of disco music, if there's any of it.
So he has been murdered?
No.
Really?
He's still around. He's still working. He founded a recording studio in the basement of an apartment hostel hotel in Germany, and Reinhold Mack is his protege. So Reinhold went from being an engineer. He formed his own studio called Musicland, and so Queen goes to Germany for the first time, I believe, ever to make a full record. And they did not go from place to place to place, which they had been doing. So why is that important? Because this next track would not be this track without Reinhold Mack and the writer, John Deacon. And I'm going to tell you, Another One Bites the Dust is another song by Queen that has transcended music, has transcended rock. It literally is in the public common tongue and lexicon. Everyone, even if you don't know the song and you don't like rock music, you know that riff, you know that song, you know it. You know the phrase, Another One Bites the Dust. Another One Rides the Bus by Weird Al.
That's even better.
It is even better. But John Deacon wrote this and made a single at the suggestion of Michael Jackson, apparently, who heard it before it was...
You know what? That's a really weird sentence to say.
I guess it's bizarre. But anyway, great song. John Deacon, yet another banger by John Deacon, right? All the guy writes is when he gets to write, he writes bangers and hits.
So here's what I was going to say about this one, right? You can always tell the John Deacon track on the record, right? It always pops up. It's always this flowery, lovely, wonderful thing about his lady died. What? This song is different. John Deacon went a different direction, and he wrote an abject classic. I think, I'm going to be honest, this is the only John Deacon penned classic record by Queen, or record song, whatever you want to call it. And it is amazing.
No,
everything.
He also wrote My Best Friend. You're My Best Friend. He's written many songs.
I don't think okay, that is a classic, but it doesn't transcend. Okay, fine. This is only transcendent song. You know what? No, okay,
I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it.
No,
that's I'm not gonna fight about these.
Well,
things.
one, I'm right, but let me change it anyway. This is his best song. This is his perfect song. Every artist gets one perfect song, one time at bat, one game, right? This is when he just nails it. Next song he also wrote. Let's see if he does that one.
Well, here's the thing about Another One Bites the Dust also. This is direct inspiration of disco, of hip-hop that's emerging. These guys are musical encyclopedias. Things that Queen did on Another One Bites the Dust, dropping shit inside of pianos. I'm not saying no one ever did it before, but never on a hit song before, right? And record scratching, like, all for the first time. Rapture by Blondie is not a single until 7-8 months from now in 1981, by the way. Even though it's on the album that came out that nobody heard because it was like Thanksgiving Friday, Black Friday.
Best time to put out a record.
To me, this is song's a 10 of 10. I think the other two songs are very high to me. They're not to you, but like this is a very strong start to an album. And then Need Your Lovin' Tonight, also a John Deacon song. Not that great a song. Was a hit single.
This is the John Deacon song on the record. I love my wife. I love my life.
Oh, you mean the Roger Taylor song?
No, the John Deacon song.
I guess.
John Deacon always writes songs about...
Another One Bites the Dust is not about this, and he wrote that.
Right. John Deacon wrote a different song that time. Okay. This time he wrote the John Deacon song. That's what I was trying
John Deacon came in and wrote Need Your Lovin' Tonight. He should have been the John Deacon who wrote...
No, normal John Deacon came in and wrote Need Your Lovin' Tonight. Other John Deacon wrote Another One Bites the Dust.
Okay. On drugs, baby. Which one is on drugs?
Good drugs. On good drugs.
All right, the good drugs. All right, so Nik not a fan is what I'm guessing.
It's just another one of those. It's like a Roger Taylor song, right? He writes, I'm in love with my car, and then just sings it 6 more times.
Yeah, it's just filler. It's kind of filler. But okay. It's the first not good song. It's not horrible. It's just not great.
Right, it's not horrible. It's not good.
But then.
And then they just drop the ball.
Written in the bubble bath in Munich in a hotel.
Which is the queeniest queen that ever queened, right there.
The queen's so hard on this crazy little thing called love.
With the finger snaps.
Ready Freddy. Another just iconic, incredible song. Partially parodied by George Michael in Faith as a musical nod. Again, it's very British. It's not stealing. When the British do it, they're paying tribute to someone else.
It's a homage. It's a homage.
But we don't... They stole! Led Zeppelin stole the blues from bluesmen. Like, they did, but they weren't... They didn't know they were. You know, they were paying tribute. But, okay, they pay it up later.
Those songs were standards anyway.
They were not Lemon Song. Smokestack's Lightning, maybe. Not, like, some of the other ones. Anyway, crazy little thing called love. What else can you say? It's incredible.
Completely incredible.
Worldwide renowned hit song. Peaked at #1 in Australia, Canada, Mexico, Netherlands. #2 in the UK. #1 in the USA for 4 consecutive weeks. Wow.
It was A-OK in the USA. So now...
Was it ROCK in the USA?
We're going to go back to the USSR if we pull that shit again. Flip the record. Sorry, I just wanted to say back in the USSR.
Seems to agree. When Nik doesn't comment, I just assume he agrees with me. Another 10 of 10.
Completely.
2 10 of 10s, a marginal song, and 2 pretty good ones, depending on whose opinion you want.
We got one chiller, 2 filler, 2 killer.
Fair enough. Prime Rocket, Prime Jive, Open Side 2, and Roger Taylor. I wish you wouldn't have.
Okay, correct. Let's move on.
Moving along. You get your Roger Taylor fix of him singing lead vocals.
Oh yeah, I needed that. I was waiting for the Roger Taylor song. Thank you. I mean, it's so frustrating because he's such a great singer, and all of his songs are crap.
Crappy. All right. Don't Try Suicide. I think the intent was an A. The effort was an A, and the delivery on this is like a C. It's not a bad song. It's Freddie's 3rd song on the record. The other 2 are much better than this one. I like the no one is talking. It is Men's Mental Health Month in June also, as well as Juneteenth and Pride. But Don't Try Suicide. Good idea. Not well executed. What do you think?
Yeah. Moving on.
This is a little underrated song. I like this one. Sail Away, Sweet Sister, to the Sister I Never Had, in parentheses. Written by Brian May. Brian May lead vocals. Bridge part sung by Freddie. Has never been performed live, but GNR and Brian May did it on the
I was gonna say that.
Chinese Democracy Tour.
Yeah, on the they did it on the Chinese Democracy
So
tour.
no one saw it.
No one
Also,
saw it.
No one saw it except Queen fans. And
What
then
was
there
Brian May even doing?
I don't know. He sampled. The song was sampled by Das FX also. Good rap group. Might be worth a DMA for one of those records. Has been on some compilation albums, but really not performed ever by the band. So they didn't like it, but I think it's actually a pretty good song.
It is not a bad song. We're kind of getting to the point in the Queen discography where they each have their style, where they're doing the Metallica thing. Track 1, the fast song. Track 2, the title track. Track 3, the slow tempo. Track 4, ballad. We're kind of getting that with, here's the Freddie song, here's the Brian song, here are the John songs, and here's a Roger song. Sail away, sweet sister, to the sister I never had. Which, my God, Brian May is a weird guy. It's Dr. Sir Brian May, COBE.
He is the definition of eccentric. And
yes, and I love that about him.
Billions of dollars that he didn't have before. He can continue to be eccentric all he wants.
Yeah. You know, you're eccentric when you're rich. You're a stalker when you're not.
That's you just might be a jerk. If you're eccentric and you're not well off, you just might be peculiar. All right, final 2 songs of the record. This song is not good. Maybe even worse than the other not good song. What do you think? Coming Soon, I Wish It Never Had. Roger Taylor.
No, it definitely came soon.
It stopped. Please, it came prematurely and it was unfinished. I don't like this song.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, this had been a leftover from jazz.
Yeah, shocker. The worst song on the record is a leftover from another album.
Apparently, the other song Roger wrote also was started during jazz and abandoned.
Oh, there you go.
Not good.
Sorry, Roger's songs are bad. Roger's songs are bad.
They're pretty bad. He's a brilliantly talented guy who can't write an actual song by himself.
I'm not going to say what I'm thinking.
I'm looking at you also. Maybe even Ringo is better than Roger, not as a drummer. But anyway, luckily for Roger and the band, this album ends on a fucking banger. What a beautiful, great, incredible song to end the album with. It kind of saves the album, Save Me. It's just beautiful. It was a hit song. They played it live for a long time. Went to number 11 in the UK singles chart. They performed it extensively from 79 to 82. They occasionally bring it back. It's pretty amazing.
There is no irony lost on me that there were 3 bad songs in a row, and the streak was ended by Save Me.
Could be.
I don't know that was intentional. I'd like to think they believed in all of the songs they put on the record, but I do not believe in all of these songs. So let's kind of move forward here. This is a better record than they typically put out. It is not a 10 of 10 record for me. Queen, I don't think, has any 10 of 10 records, period, especially now that we've gone through all of this. It was only 35 minutes, which, kudos for them for tucking it back a little bit, slowing some things down, not overly fleshing, but it still felt a little long for me. Not overly long, but that is a long 35 minutes, especially when you look at the tracking of this record. Side 1 has 1 chiller, 2 killer, 2 filler, 1 chiller. I think that's fair. And you know what? Play the Game and Dragon Attack. We could argue that they may be, we may be able to call it, 2.5, 2.5, 1, whatever. But side 2 is it's an abortion. It's bad. It is bad all the way. Why can't Queen?
It's bad all the way. I don't think it's bad. I think personally, Save Me is great. Save Me is.
You're okay. I'm sorry. Save Me is great, but the rest of it's bad.
I think Sail Away, Sweet Sister decent, and the other 3 are pretty terrible.
Yeah, it's Sail Away,
Don't Try Suicide is also not terrible. It's just not great.
It's the best song in that run.
Yeah,
and the best thing you can say about it is it's not terrible.
It's true. So true.
Okay, so we have a great side, or a really good, we'll call it very good. We have a very good side, followed by a really bad side. I mean, this could have been an EP. This could have been a great EP. That's the problem I keep running into with this
Bands
band.
that are too huge don't just do an EP for no reason.
I
They
know.
consider that a failure.
I know. And I don't want EPs because EPs cost the same money as LPs with half the music. But let's talk about a couple of things real quick before we finish this out. This was #1 in America. Congratulations. This was a platinum record. Congratulations. Queen has been steadily rising. And around this time is when a young me actually first heard of Queen, because I remember Another One Bites the Dust. I want to say I saw it on Saturday Night Live. I saw them play it on SNL in the early 80s. And that was what made me a Queen fan. That is the first time I can remember hearing Queen. And they may not make great records, but damn do they write some great songs.
Well, here's the thing. I think this is in the top 3 Queen records based on quality number of songs.
I didn't say it wasn't.
I mean, they have at least 3 excellent songs, 2 classics, and another one that's a 9 of 10, and then another one that's at least an 8. Save me. And that's better than most of their records. Oh my god.
Yeah, Queen is the definite. Queen, unfortunately, 30-30-30 is like their max. That is where they top out.
What? I think some of these records are 80, 20-80, bro. Like, we know that.
No, what I'm saying is 30-30-30 is their high point.
Yeah, unfortunately. I don't know why that is. I don't know why.
It just is.
They are the quintessential greatest hits band, though, beside the Eagles.
Yes, they are. They are Styx.
They're better than Styx, but I know what you mean. You love Styx. They're not.
I do love Styx. I saw Styx this past weekend, and they put
Toto
What Passes for Styx
Styx.
put on a great show, and the dude they have doing Dennis DeYoung looks just like Polly Walnuts. It's weird. He's even got the wings. I'm confused.
Next week, tracksuits and more douchey trucker hats. This is a good episode. This is, again, weirdly, we've done 8 albums. This is in the top 3 or 4 of those 8.
Yeah, I would say top 1.
Somehow.
Yeah, that's what's unfortunate. All right, we're gonna repeat. You take us home. Let's call it a day. Love you.
Fair enough. I love you too. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad we're back. I'm sorry for my travels, but I'm glad I did. All right. You have been listening to the Musical Podcast with your host, Nick Aloysius Cameron of St. Louis, Missouri. I am.
Do not say Missouri in my name in the same fucking breath ever again.
Missoula, Montana. I am Ghost called Keefy. Originally of the Bronx, New York, formerly of Boston, Massachusetts, formerly of Salem, Massachusetts, formerly of Fairfield, California, formerly of other places, now currently.
Did you go to Fairfield? Did you go to Fairfax High School with Flea and Anthony?
I did not.
Did you do some good stuff and some real bad things?
Punched Ketis in the dick. And
wow, hate crime.
Made Halil not overdose because my Hebrew name is actually Halil, by the way. I don't know if you knew that because I don't talk about that shit because I don't care about religion. But my Hebrew name is Halil. I was not named for Halil Slovak, but what a sweet guy. Anyway, rest in power. You can check us out on social media wherever you do the social media thing. You can listen to this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. If you're watching it, it's YouTube. If you're listening, it's all the podcast places. Please give us a follow, a like, a subscribe. I've been trying to literally make people pick up these dumb devices and follow this podcast.
You're already here. Push the button that we want you to push.
Yeah, if you've somehow enjoyed this at all, we appreciate you. Shout out to my man John from Waterfront Comics of Fairfield, who is a new fan and a new listener, and told me he was going to listen. Oh, this is like all my shit. I'm going to listen to all of these. I love you, dude. That's great. And as we say every week at this juncture of the show, it is the Glacially Musical Podcast. It does not play in Peoria, but absolutely Another One Bites the Dust has been played in Peoria.
And I'm burning Peoria down next weekend. I'm going to Peoria.
Holy shit. Well,
yeah, I'm going.
About that. Going to Peoria with an aching in your heart.
No, like with a stiffy and somewhere else.
Oh my God. All right. Peace.